Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tanika Harris. I'm the Director of Communication and Community Relations for the Urban Redevelopment Authority of Pittsburgh. Today is our regular board meeting for January, and we are excited to be able to share with you some wonderful projects that are underway. And I'm going to pass this over to our chairman, Chintalapalli. Thank you so much for this time.
Thank you, Director Harris. As Director Harris said, this is our regular board meeting for January 2023. It is also our annual board meeting for the year. The first order of business, to let the record reflect that all board members are present and accounted for. Being our annual meeting, the first item on the agenda is for us to organize ourselves and elect officers. So with that, I entertain any nominations.
I would nominate yourself to be chair.
Thank you, Councilman. Yeah, if we want to nominate a slate, we can do it all at once.
And I nominate Councilman Bell as vice chair. And Representative Innamorato as our other officers.
Treasurer. There we go.
Which meeting, man?
Yeah, there we go. Any discussion from the board? It's a consistent leadership team from last year, so just thank the fellow board members for your confidence and trust in us. But with that, we'll entertain, I guess we have motions on the table, so seconds, and then we can take a vote.
Happy to second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Wonderful. We are organized for 2023 and have officers. So with that, we will, thank you all. We will move into the regular agenda then. First order of business being approval of the December 8th, 2022 URA board meeting minutes. Motion. Second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The motion carries. Wonderful. I do want the record to reflect the board did meet in executive session for the purposes of briefing on today's agenda on January 13th, and then an executive session immediately before today's meeting on project personnel matters. So moving on, we have a couple folks registered for public comment. I believe the first is providing that live, Daniel.
Yes, bear with me just one moment. The first public commenter is Lauren Dimichi, and I apologize if I didn't get your last name correctly.
It's DiMache.
Sorry,
DiMache.
DiMache, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lauren DiMache. You'll have approximately 3 minutes. I'll let you know when you've got about 30 seconds left, and I'll start keeping time when you start talking.
Okay. Hi, my name is Lauren DiMache, and I recently applied for the down payment and closing cost assistance program. I filled out all the information, gathered all of the documents, and believed to have met all the criteria. However, my application was denied. The URA website does not specify anywhere the definition of a first-time homebuyer in the city. The website does, however, indicate that applicants cannot owe any back city real estate taxes. I bring this up because I was really counting on the URA funding in order to be able to purchase the home that I will reside in with my son. This home is located in the Marshall-Shadeland neighborhood, and it is just a few minutes from where my 8-year-old boards his bus in the mornings. And it is also close to his father's home in Brighton Heights. See, I'm going through a divorce currently, and yes, I had owned a home in the city for many years with my former partner. However, I am no longer a legal property owner in the city of Pittsburgh, but I would like to be. One of the first questions I was asked by my lender is if I was considering buying outside of the city in order to avoid the hefty transfer taxes, but that was not an option for me. I want to live in the city. I want to invest in my neighborhood and my community. According to Fannie Mae guidance, the definition of a first-time homebuyer includes an individual who is displaced, homemaker, or single parent with no ownership or interest in a principal residence. So because of this, I appealed the denial of my application. My lender was contacted this week and I produced financial documents from my bank about my most current financial situation. Through the divorce process, half of all that I built with my partner of 20 years is gone. And it was just this morning that I was told that my documentation is inconsistent and that I am invited to, quote, apply in the future, unquote. I don't have the luxury of unlimited time and resources. I am seeking to secure safe housing for myself and my 8-year-old son so that his life is not impacted any more than it already has been. And based on all of this, I'm asking that the URA Board consider this definition of a first-time home buyer in the city for the down payment closing cost assistance program and reconsider my current financial situation. I am willing to provide any and all documentation in order to show my need for this loan program. I do not have unlimited time or resources to spare. We are slated to close on the 26th. What I do have is a massive corporate bank who has not thoughtfully advocated on my behalf throughout this process. I have a seller who is playing hardball about electrical fixes he did not obtain permits for. I have a closing company that is laying in wait, and I have a real estate agent who has advocated for me because she is aware of the inner workings of my personal and financial situation. All of these people, including myself, want to close on this house so that we can all move forward. And this has been one of the most difficult things I have ever been through. And yes, I am luckier than a lot of single moms. I do have a small retirement fund that I can cash out with penalties to make this deal work. And I certainly will do what I have to do. I just really need a break. But thank you for your time.
Thank you. Any follow-up comments from the board?
I would just be interested to learn from staff, sort of, you know, and we can follow up separately with Ms. DiMiche, you know, afterward in terms of, you know, what, if there is something within internal policy, you know, that we might need to consider, or if it's dictated, Councilman, maybe you know from the legislation at the council level, but you know, what ability or latitude we would have here, you know, for instances like this, especially considering, at least as Ms. DiMiche shared with us, potential consistency with, you know, FHA and federal guidelines. So.
Yeah, no, I'd be willing to huddle with you after the fact, Cal.
Okay. But thank you for coming to meet with us today and bringing this to our attention.
Okay, our final registered public comment comes in writing from Councilman Bruce Kraus. Dear URA board members, please accept this letter as my full support of Ms. Lois Carrington's efforts to acquire Lot 15S26. This is vacant land under URA ownership. It is next to Ms. Carrington's property at 321 Michigan. Due to the land's close proximity to McKinley Park and McKinley Park restoration, it is of vital importance that the properties be maintained near the park, and we believe Ms. Carrington will be able to do just that. Ms. Carrington is a stalwart member of the community of Belts Hoover. We believe her intentions with the property will only increase the property value on the street and in the neighborhood. Ms. Carrington also possesses the financial and familial resources to be a great steward of the lot and has never had any sort of property infraction at the current property. Please do not hesitate to reach out to me with questions. And that concludes our public comment for today. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Moving into announcements. The first items related to the RFP release on the downtown conversion program.
Chairman, I can take this. Good morning or good afternoon, everybody. My name's Evan Miller. I'm the Director of Housing here at the URA, and I wanted to announce that the Pittsburgh Downtown Conversion Program is set to be rolled out later this month with an RFP being posted on the URA's website on January 31st to begin accepting applications. As a reminder, this program, it looks to create new affordable housing in Pittsburgh's central business district by converting underutilized office space to residential uses. Under the current climate in the city, many who work downtown cannot afford to live in the neighborhood, or they struggle to find available affordable units. Additionally, there's been steep declines in office occupancy that's jeopardized the vitality of downtown and an important component of the region's property tax base. So the downtown conversion program is seeking to address both of these issues to some extent by adding diverse and affordable new supplies of housing downtown. Financing is going to be provided directly to building owners and developers who intend to convert to affordable residential that serves varying AMIs at or below 80% AMI. AMI is area median income. The program offers between $60,000 to $100,000 per unit converted, depending on what level of affordability is going to be served. This RFP is going to accept proposals on a rolling basis, and it opens on the 31st. It'll be posted on the URA's website in the proposals and bids sections, and future projects will be coming to this board for their approval in coming months. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. Any questions or comments from the board? I know we've been working on this one for a while, so it's excited to see it go live. And hopefully we'll learn a lot soon and can work to secure some more resources to help with that. So, great. Next is the PGH applications, which also excitingly are going to be opening soon, and Alicia Majors will be joining us for this.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alicia Majors, and I am the home ownership manager within the consumer lending team. We are very excited to announce that we will begin accepting applications for the OWN PGH program on January 31st, 2023. The OWN PGH program, home ownership program, in partnership with the Housing Authority of the City of Pittsburgh, will provide up to $90,000 through grants and forgivable loans to qualifying first-time homebuyers purchasing a home within the City of Pittsburgh. The program is designed to reduce the cost of home purchasing for home buyers with incomes at or below 80% of the area median income. For a family of four, that total household income may not exceed $75,850. Debt to income ratios must not exceed 31% front end and 43% back end. Interested applicants must pre-qualify for a first mortgage loan with a participating lender. Currently, they are Dollar Savings Bank, First Commonwealth Bank, and Slovak Savings Bank. I would just like to say we, the consumer lending team, look forward to assisting the many borrowers that wish to become City of Pittsburgh homeowners. Thank you.
Thanks, Alicia. Just for the public's understanding, Alicia, on the front end and back end ratio, would you be able to just explain what those numbers mean for everyone?
Yes. Your front end ratio is calculated by totaling your household expenses, which is your mortgage, your insurance, mortgage, insurance, and taxes, and divide that by your gross monthly income, and you would receive your front end ratio. With your back end ratio, you have your household expenses, which is all those that I just pointed out, your mortgage, your taxes, and your insurance, plus all your debt, your current debt, monthly debt, and divide that number by your total household gross income, and you would get your back end ratio.
Okay, thank you. I mean, we know this is something that staff's worked on incredibly hard, so thank you for all of that and bringing it to this point. It's exciting to see it go live. I'll be interested. Hopefully this will be also good kind of advertisement for other mortgage issuers to get some more involved It's great to see Dollar and First Commonwealth and Slovak, as partners on this, but obviously within the city, there's many more banks that are issuing mortgages to buyers across the city. So, hopefully we'll be able to get some more on board to expand this and really broaden the reach. Because while it's good, it's only going to be as good as we're able to get it out and have people using the program. So excited for it. Thank you for your efforts around this and the rest of the team.
I wanted to echo Kyle for the OMPGH team and the downtown rental conversion team. Truly, I know both have been huge projects. So thank you all so much for your hard work getting these online. I know it was not an easy task. So thank you all.
Thank you.
There's a preview of today's agenda for everyone. We'll start moving through the thick of it now. The first item on the agenda is exciting, I think, and one that we know we've wanted to discuss with folks over the last couple of weeks. So excited to be to this point, and that's approval of Sushila Namani Stanger as the URA's executive director, and the corresponding authorization to enter an employment agreement with her. So I'm really thrilled for the board to have this revolution before us today. That's going to name Sushila as our next executive director. She's someone with encyclopedic knowledge of development finance and a track record of creativity around structuring projects and program design. She cares deeply about our staff and ensuring that we have an inclusive organizational culture that prioritizes their learning, their development, and their safety. And she has a demonstrated commitment to the city and our residents. These are all qualities that those of us who've worked with her over the years have come to appreciate and understand, but more importantly, countless community partners, stakeholders, and developers have too. Now, she's done all this quietly, with a calm confidence and candor that always centers the work and stays true to herself. As a testament to her focus on the work, I don't know if she'll be happy with me sharing this, but her initial reaction when we approached her about whether she would even consider this position was that she had never really seen this role as a possibility. But she approached it as so many other things and came back quickly with a balanced, well-considered approach and an enthusiasm for the opportunity that really truly makes us all excited about the future. We are confident that Sushila's business acumen, inclusive leadership style, and care for our communities will serve the URA's mission with distinction as we work towards building a more equitable and just Pittsburgh. Lastly, while we know other women have held the title of interim and acting executive director, this is the first time in the URA's history that a woman will hold this post on a permanent basis. And we really, truly could not be prouder. And as luck would have it, today also happens to be her birthday. So I'm not a singer, but I'll defer to any of my fellow board members if they would like to sing to our director before we look to take a vote or have any other comment.
In lieu of singing, though, I want to congratulate. In lieu of singing, I want to congratulate Sheila. Kyle said it all, but she's been a fantastic advocate for all things that the URA stands for. In particular, the kind of vision that we're moving forward with and have been going towards for the past few years. And so, Sushila, we're so excited that you agreed to come back and remain excited for what you can continue to bring to the organization.
Agreed. First and foremost, happy birthday. Second, I think I've had the opportunity to work with Sushila, I think all but 2 years that I've been on council, and getting to know her and her breadth of knowledge and her willingness to learn and develop her skill set. We have nothing but the highest level of faith and confidence bringing her on as our executive director. And I look forward to working with her moving forward. Congratulations to this as well.
Yeah, I would only add to all of the very true things that have already been said. I don't know how lucky we are, really, that not only for the URA, but for the entire city, that Sushila has agreed to take on this responsibility, because it allows us to fill this position almost seamlessly with no transition worries or hiccups whatsoever, which will be a really good thing for the staff of the URA, but it'll be a great thing for the city of Pittsburgh to be able to continue to focus on the work at a really critical time when this work is getting pretty harder and harder and harder to execute. And I think it's also worth noting that Sushila has been a really committed public servant working at the URA and then the county, but really on behalf of the people of Pittsburgh for almost her entire career. And that's really credible. And we're lucky to have you in this position.
I want to say congratulations and happy birthday. And we'll second everything that everyone else has said. We're so excited that you're stepping into this role.
With that, I guess we'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Move. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Congratulations, Director.
Thank you so much. Thank you all for your kind words. I really appreciate it. And I do want to thank the mayor for his support and confidence in me, and to the entire board of directors. Thank you. Your confidence in my leadership means a lot. And if it's okay, I did prepare some things to say, because this is an important moment for me and for our staff. And your confidence in my leadership really does allow me to trust myself and help us advance our work. I look forward to open communication and your continued active partnership. You've been there for us when we needed you, and it means a lot. To the URA staff, you make this organization powerful. The care and love you put into your daily practice to lift underserved communities up are what sustains the URA. So when I started at the URA in 2007, I was very fortunate to learn from some of the best in the industry. So, I'm not going to name everyone, but Robert, Angelo, Mark, Sharon, and others. And I know the URA from details up. So, and I will continue to lead strategically as a working director. And I learned that term from Mulu Baru. The 70 million in American Rescue Plan funding that we have been entrusted with is unprecedented. I mean, it's never happened before. As stewards of public money, this funding is a real opportunity for us to elevate our work and service to communities. I also know that money doesn't solve all problems. And that's when our technical knowledge, experience, and trusted partnerships come in. And I'm certain that we have the right minds and committed hearts at the URA to meet this once-in-a-lifetime challenge through our strategic framework. And so essentially my goal is to stabilize our organization and strengthen our core work. And that is supported by the URA leadership team and all the staff. So we're all coming at it at the same time with the same mission in mind. And so, we need to understand community needs and maintain our project priorities. Staying focused on those priorities is key, and it allows us to create quality jobs. Also, advancing affordable and quality housing projects throughout the city is part of our everyday practice. And again, money doesn't solve the problem all the time. It's about building our networks, our regional capacity. And so we're developing a training course for market rate developers to help them, to give them tools to model affordable units in their projects. We're also developing a training course for housing advocates to help evolve their practice from advocacy to project practitioners. Because again, it's, in many ways, the affordable housing crisis is about capacity. So, and we'll continue to work, and you'll see more items on the agenda related to the ARPA funding. And so that's a huge priority for us. The next 2 years, we're going to be drawing and dispersing 70 million in ARPA funding for meaningful investments. And we can leverage that federal investment through our other economic development tools. So we'll be strengthening our tax diversion pipeline. We are looking at TIF and TRID and other leverage tools, and working with our private development partners to advance regional priorities that will largely focus on quality housing and mobility and transportation improvements. And as you've mentioned, related to staff engagement and training, our leadership style is employing a show, don't tell management style. We know the details. We're going to share these details. In the field of economic development, the devil is in the details, as well as having a larger strategic framework. And we're also going to maintain constant and open communication with our board, community groups, developers, public agencies, and legislators, and have a mutual accountability through that work. And then finally, keeping our programs and tools flexible enough to solve problems. It's great to have guidelines, but as the one speaker said, this first-time homebuyer definition may need to be tweaked. And I will mention that we've already thought about changing the definition of first-time homebuyers to help solve this problem related to single parents. So that's all the business stuff. On a personal note, this is a really important moment for my family, and it's really not lost on me. As some of you know, my father emigrated to Pittsburgh from Hyderabad, India in 1965. He was the first Nimani in this country, and he had $12 in his pocket. For the first 6 months, Allegheny General Hospital, who employed him, paid for his travel to the US, and they recouped the cost of his airfare through payroll deductions. What remained of his pay went back to family in India, leaving enough for an efficiency apartment in the Mexican war streets. So growing up with an immigrant parent instilled in me the importance of hard work and compassion for others. So all of that is to say that there are many pathways to economic stability and prosperity for our communities. Through our work at the URA, we have the unique opportunity to listen to our community partners, their needs, and understand what they need. Is it funding? Is it technical expertise? Or is it both? And that's our job, to really listen and understand. So I look forward to the years ahead of working with you and solving these complex problems and advancing important visionary ideas for our region with creativity and care. And thank you all for your support. This is a birthday that I won't forget. Thanks.
Thank you, Director. And congratulations and happy birthday again. Moving on, the next item on the agenda is the ARPA Avenues of Hope grant program. Joining us for this will be Talia O'Brien and Josette Fitzgibbons.
Thank you, and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Talia O'Brien, and I'm a Neighborhood Business District Program Analyst here at the URA. And I am here to talk about the American Rescue Plan Act Avenues of Hope grant program today. Next slide, please. The Avenues of Hope initiative was launched by the city and the URA in 2020 with the mission of having a place-based, people-first approach to holistic, successful, and sustainable Main Street development while emphasizing Black and MWBE entrepreneurship. The Avenues of Hope ARPA grant program has been designed to support the initiative's mission by providing funding for place-based initiatives within the 7 Avenues of Hope communities that spur revitalization of these historically underserved commercial corridors. This grant program will aim to fund proposals that encourage the improvement of public infrastructure, vacant or abandoned commercial spaces, as well as initiatives that invest in the neighborhood by improving health outcomes through creation or improvement of parks and open spaces near or within the commercial corridor. Eligible activities include the rehabilitation of commercial properties, including storefront and facade improvements, small business assistance, including technical assistance that assists with business planning needs such as small business counseling, business incubators and micro business support, COVID-19 recovery relief, vacant or blighted underutilized property reclamation stewardship that makes property safer for the surrounding community, and public space, infrastructure, and open space improvements that address and improve health and safety outcomes of the neighborhoods. Eligible grantees include Avenues of Hope-based nonprofits, community development corporations, business district organizations, small businesses, individuals such as business owners and property owners, and partnering private entities within Avenues of Hope corridors. All proposals and projects must comply with federal requirements for the use of the American Rescue Plan Act funding, and more information on eligibility requirements can be found within the formal guideline document. Next slide, please. The first round of applications for this grant program will open on February 1st, 2023, with quarterly rolling deadlines thereafter. Here on the slide, you can see the schedule with virtual information sessions to be scheduled for each quarter, as well as in-person application assistance within each corridor. The review period will be twofold, with proposals being reviewed by a community advisory committee and an internal URA review committee. Proposals submitted will first be evaluated by the community advisory committee for the given corridor, and the committees will review the proposals for feasibility and impact of projects and will consist of community representatives for each corridor, as well as URA and city representatives. Proposals will then undergo another review process by the URA Internal Review Committee, which will consist of internal and city staff. The internal committee will then make funding recommendations to the URA Board of Directors. Both of the community advisory committees and the internal URA review committees will meet quarterly. At this time, I'd like to thank the URA Board of Directors for giving me the time to speak on this program today and to present this new and exciting opportunity that we have. I'd also like to thank all the URA staff that has helped craft this program. I know it's been a long haul, so support was much appreciated. And right now, I would like to give Josette Fitzgibbons, the Business Program Officer at the URA, an opportunity to speak if she would like to, as well as answer any questions that the board may have. Thank you.
Yeah, just a quick follow-up. So we're asking, we have the guidelines in front of you. We're asking for approval of the guidelines. Once you approve the guidelines, then our agreement with the city will be finalized, and we'll be able to finally open this program. We will be Talia and the rest of my staff have been working hard at getting out into the communities, talking for a long time about this program, but we were going to be reaching out in the communities again to put together the advisory committees and to start to develop projects that can be eligible for the program.
Thank you both. Any questions or comments from the board?
No question. Just thank you all for your due diligence. I know you've had to sort of adjust numerous times over as ARPA guidelines became more clear. And so I just want to thank you all for your sort of continued work in getting us to this point.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Councilman.
Thank you.
I would second the councilman's points. I know it's been a bit of a slog to get to this point with kind of the changing, not only federal guidelines, but interpretations of the same by different lawyers and consultants. And so it's exciting that, we're now approving the guidelines and Talia, as you said, there'll be the outreach to the community partners and, receiving applications, et cetera. So exciting to see it move forward. I think, let us know how we can help to get the word out, once things go up, and certainly can make sure to share the information as well. So.
Great, thank you.
Seeing no other questions or comments, entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? The motion carries. Thank you both, and everyone on the team for your work on this. Our next item on the agenda is a presentation of draft housing preservation program guidelines. Joining us for this will be Director Miller.
Thank you, Chairman. Yes, Evan Miller, Director of Housing here again. And I want to bring to the board and public's attention that today the URA is going to be posting draft program guidelines for the American Rescue Plan funded housing preservation program on its website for review and public comment. The program is going to help fund the acquisition, rehab, and operations of existing affordable housing, both naturally occurring and subsidized. The preservation program, it's intended to quickly deploy funding to development partners that are looking to either preserve existing portfolios that are at risk of flipping the market, as well as preventing existing affordable housing stock that might be taken offline in other ways, like through physical deficiencies and things of that nature. So the URA is currently scheduled to receive $8.9 million of American Rescue Plan funding to support this effort. Anyone interested is welcome to review the guidelines that are posted on our website and comment on them. But some of the high level components are that eligible projects are going to include 5 or more units with at least 50% of the units needing to be affordable to households at or below 80% of the area median income, with priority given to projects serving households at or below 50% AMI. Also, the program, to the greatest extent possible, will require participating projects to accept housing choice voucher holders. Eligible borrowers are going to be both nonprofit and for-profit developers, but all of the participants are going to have to abide by a 40-year affordability deed restriction on their participating project. An eligible project can receive up to $50,000 of preservation program funding per affordable unit, with a maximum per project loan amount of $1.5 million. The program has been in the works for some time now, and the URA has been working closely with the Preservation Working Group here in Pittsburgh to understand what the funding needs are and the potential pipeline, what that might look like for this program. So as it's been done with past ARPA funded programs, we are bringing draft guidelines to the board with the intention of then bringing final guidelines for approval the following month. So the public comment on the preservation program guidelines is going to be open until Friday, February 3rd at 5 p.m. Eastern. And again, that's going to be posted later today at the URL found on the slide here. So I'll end it there and open the floor if there's any comments or questions. Thank you.
Thanks, Director. Any questions or comments from the board? Sam, the look on your face tells me you want to say something, but I'm not sure.
I was really just thinking about like what a huge need this fills.
Yeah.
So this is great, and thank God for ARPA, but great that we're able to do this, and really smart way to put some of these dollars to use. So thanks to Council and the administration and the URA staff for making this possible. So I'll make a motion to approve.
So moved. Second, sorry.
So there actually is no vote today. This is just a presentation.
Sorry.
That's a non-voting item.
These are only the first time we're seeing this?
Yeah, these are just the presentation of the draft. So if we have any questions or discussion, obviously make sure that folks, yeah. we'll hold that one, and we'll suspend it. Obviously want to encourage people to go, online and take a look at the guidelines, please, and provide, comments and suggestions to improve what staff has drafted, before February 3rd guideline. I guess, Evan, just for maybe our understanding, and there's 8.9 million total from the work of the preservation, working group, and do we have a sense, I guess, between sort of now and when the ARPA funds need to be, spent, sort of what the potential demand might look like? Like, it's 8.9. I'm presuming we'll be able to spend that, but maybe thinking ahead, for discussions as the timeliness maybe, for other funds, if there's, ways to deploy things, related to this that can help us secure, these assets. As Sam said, there's no shortage of need in this space, as we all know. So shoring up this while we have these resources will be critically important.
Yeah, that's, I think, a great question. And I do feel confident that we will be able to use the 8.9 that's scheduled, 8.9 million that's scheduled, but that through the work of the preservation working group, we've identified probably closer to maybe $70 to $100 million in need. Oh, wow. Frankly, if every single aging affordable project, both deed restricted and not deed restricted, over the next 5 years that might be eligible for this program would receive some improvements. I mean, that's, I'm sure, a possibility, but so I think as the program moves along and hopefully we're moving money out the door and into projects, should there be timeliness issues with other ARPA funds, I do think this would be a great use to continue channeling those other funds towards. I can think the program right now is structured to, it could work with a LIHTC project that is preserving some type of existing affordable housing, and even this year we're aware of a few. And so right there, those are very large gaps on those deals that we can conceivably use this type of money for, as well as just very traditional preservation of whether a deed restriction is going to be expiring or there's a physical deficiency at a building that they don't have the reserves for. I think there's a number of uses that really fall under preservation that this should be able to help with.
Great. Any other questions or comments? Okay. Well, thank you, Director. The work you and your team put into this. Excited to take a vote on it next month, which Director Williamson's on the ready to make the motion. So we already got that one figured out. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you all.
Next on the agenda, we have Uptown and City's Edge. Ben Payton is joining us for this.
Yeah, hi, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to speak. My name is Ben Payton. I'm a senior lending analyst here in the residential lending department of the URA. And I'd like to bring the board and public's attention to the item in front of us right now, which is an action to award a $1.22 million HOF RGP construction and permanent loan to the City's Edge project for the new construction of the City's Edge apartments. Next slide, please. There'll be some more additional information here. So just take a couple minutes here to go through some of the project details. The project is located at 1450 Caldwell Street in the Uptown neighborhood. This is a mixed-use development that will include 110 residential units, 39,000 square feet of rentable commercial space, and a 2-story garage. Now, of the 110 units, 92 of them are going to be kept affordable at varying AMI levels, and all 92 units are covered by a Section 8 HAP contract. Because of the complexity of the financing for this project, the development team broke the project into 3 condo units. So for ease of use, we have the commercial condo, then we have the 4% LIHTC unit condo, and the 9% LIHTC unit portion. This URA loan is only funding the 4% portion of the project. So the 4% LIHTC condo portion. The 4% portion of the project is estimated to cost $35.8 million out of a total $64 million of the total development cost. The 4% portion of the building will be made up of 54 new units of affordable housing and an additional 18 units of market housing. So the developer for this project is Midpoint Group of Companies, which is based here in Pittsburgh, and is a recently new firm started by Mr. Nate Bowe, who prior to starting Midpoint, Mr. Bowe served as the Chief Officer of the Housing Authority of the City of Pittsburgh, where he helped develop affordable housing for many years. Our borrower here, which is City's Edge Residential 1, is a subsidiary of Midpoint Group of Companies, and they are the entity that received the 4% LIHTC credits from PHFA in late December 2022. Currently, as you saw in the previous photo, the location of the project is a surface level parking lot near PBG Arena. And I know that I think many people on this call might be familiar with this project. I know this has been knocking around for a while in different forms. So we're excited to finally be in a position where we can make a loan to the project. We felt like this would be a good time to come forward to the board with this loan. The project received its final funding commitments from PHFA in late 2022. So we felt like this would be an appropriate time to bring this action to the board. And to provide a few further details and answer any other questions about the project, we have Hal Coffey, who is part of the development team, joining us today on the call. So Hal, if you have any words you'd like to share, that would be the time.
I'll simply say, if there were ever an example of will and perseverance to get a development done, both on the developer side as well as all the staff at the URA over the years who have spent time on this is that example. So I just want to say congratulations to getting us here, especially for the levels of affordability that this is going to bring to the area and to the region. It's also worth noting that this development, we believe, is going to be very helpful in our application to HUD regarding our choice application, because this will be an example of build first housing. So we're grateful for that as well. So I'm amazed that we're here, and congratulations to all.
I appreciate. This is Hal Coffey. I just came on unmute, and Councilman Lavelle, want to make sure that you get your laurels as part of that too. You, the mayor's office, as you mentioned, URA staff have been absolutely instrumental in seeing us through the many iterations, issues. At times it has felt like Sisyphus, but I think we've pushed that boulder all the way up the hill, but not the developer by itself, but by an entire community helping and encouraging and putting its own sweat equity into that process. And this is just another key component of it, and greatly appreciative of it. I'm attorney for the development at Clark Hills, so I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you, Al. Any other questions or for the development team or staff or comments from the board? Councilman, I think you said it well. So it's exciting to see it here at this stage. Our partners at the Housing Authority are deeply invested in this project too. So, thank them for their work, the perseverance of the development team, Councilman, your leadership, URA staff, your commitment to seeing the project through and the wherewithal, because, in addition to allowing us to, meet the promise of doing build first housing for the residents of Bedford dwellings, like the councilman noted. It's also, putting really important and high quality affordable housing in, near downtown, transit rich environment, close to employment opportunities, and really ticking a lot of the boxes on what we want to see with projects and the way they move forward with a minority-led, development team. So, exciting to see all of those things move forward and for us to be here today. And I know it's taken a lot of time and stick-to-itiveness, as they say, by everyone involved. So thank you, everyone, for your efforts here. So.
And just to echo it, because I had not mentioned it very specifically there, I completely agree with you, in particular on the Housing Authority of the City of Pittsburgh, from leadership, from staff, from executive leadership, just been instrumental to this point and is going to be a huge part of it going forward as well.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Wonderful. The motion carries. Thank you and congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Apologies, everyone. There's a question about City's Edge in the chat if staff wanted to take a crack at answering it.
Yeah, sorry, getting off mute here. I see the question here. Yeah, so to answer the second part first, the estimated construction date is to start later this summer and it's going to completed in late 2024. And we are this will fully fund the residential portion of the project, and the project development team is currently finalizing the commercial side funding of the deal. So thanks for that question.
Thank you, Ben. Next on the agenda is the disclosures agenda. Before entertaining a motion to approve in its entirety, did want to just note that the public comment, the council member Kraus registered in favor of a side yard sale is item 6B on the, or excuse me, 6A on the disclosures agenda, just for the record. So with that, entertain a motion to approve the disclosures agenda in its entirety.
So move.
We have a second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Great, the motion carries. Unless we have any other comment, we will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
See you next month.
Thank you all.